I'm Blair, and I just teleported into the worst possible place. Turns out, I wasn't the only one hiding something here. My vampire secret was about to get blown wide open. Then she walked in Price Winsley, the icy queen of this academy. Her gaze locked onto mine, and I knew I was marked. That look? It wasn't just suspicion. It was a declaration of war. I grinned right back. If she wanted to fight, I was ready. The air in that bathroom felt like it could crack from tension. Her knuckles whitened around her binder. She wasn't backing down. I decided to leave first, but I didn't miss her stare burning into my back. Every step I took, I could feel her eyes drilling into me. This wasn't just a hallway encounter. This was the start of something big. I stepped into the hallway, already plotting my first move. She didn't follow, but I knew she'd be watching me from now on. The academy felt smaller all of a sudden, like every corner had eyes on me. But I've been hiding secrets my whole life. This war would be no different. Price Winsley thought she could intimidate me. She had no idea who she was dealing with. This academy was about to become my battlefield, and I wasn't going to lose this war, not when my secret and something else was on the line. Game on, Queen Price. Let's see who comes out on top. I leaned against my bike, waiting for the academy chaos to die down. Then her red sports car screeched to a halt right beside me, Icy Queen Price Winsley. Her jaw was set tight, like she was ready to snap at anyone who dared stare. I couldn't help myself. I walked over, curiosity burning in my chest. Her car wouldn't start. She kicked the tire, muttering under her breath. Her hands shook as she jiggled the keys, but the engine stayed dead silent. I smirked, revving my bike's engine to grab her attention. Need a ride? I yelled, already knowing she'd hate to admit she needed help. She hesitated, her shoes scraping the asphalt like she fought her own pride. When she climbed on, her cheeks were pink, nothing like the icy queen everyone knew. Her arms wrapped around my waist, warm and firm, and my heart skipped a beat. I revved the engine, and we peeled out, wind whipping through our hair. I didn't look back, but I felt her gaze on my back, curious, not angry. This war between us was about to get a lot more complicated than I thought. Then I felt her head rest against my back, light and warm, and I almost lost control. I gripped the handlebars tighter, my breath caught in my throat. This wasn't part of the plan. Her arms squeezed tighter, like she was scared I'd drop her or scared she wanted this too much. I pulled over at the overlook, city lights glowing bright below us. She climbed off quickly, her face still pink, avoiding my eyes like I'd caught her at a crime. We stood in silence, city lights below, and I knew something shifted between us permanently. I slumped in chemistry class back row, already plotting my next prank on Price. She's sitting right in front of me, her perfect ponytail taunting me. I tear out a paper, doodling her as the icy queen she thinks she is. I slide it to her, waiting for that icy glare I know so well. Her jaw tightens, exactly the reaction I was hoping for. She crumples the note like it's garbage, or so she wants me to think. But when she thinks no one's looking, she does something unexpected. She tucks it into her blazer pocket. She's hiding something too. Just then, Marge walks in, my foster mom, and my chemistry teacher. She gives me a subtle nod, reminding me to keep my powers in check. I lean back, staring at the back of Price's head, curiosity burning. She's hiding more than just my silly doodle. I'm going to find out what. This game between us is just getting started, and I'm not losing. The classroom goes quiet as Marge starts the lesson, but my focus is still on her. What's she really thinking behind that icy facade? I need to know. That perfect ponytail of hers, so neat, so controlled, just like her. And that crumpled note? She kept it. That's my first crack in her armor. Marge drones on about chemistry, but I'm barely listening. My mind's elsewhere. I'm already planning my next move. Something that'll get her to let her guard down. One way or another, I'm going to uncover all of Price Winsley's secrets. She thinks she's in control here, but she has no idea who she's dealing with. Every time she shifts in her seat, I notice every little detail about her. The sunlight streams through the window, but I don't feel warm. Not until I figure her out. My leather jacket, my band tees were nothing alike on the surface, but maybe there's more to this than just a prank war. Maybe I care more than I should. I was munching on my sad cafeteria salad, minding my own business. Or so I thought. The cafeteria was chaos around me, but I was in my own little bubble. Then she appeared, Andrea Montgomery, the most popular girl in school. She slid into the seat across from me, like we were old friends. My heart started racing. What could she possibly want with me? She slipped a note onto the table, her smile never reaching her eyes. I hesitated before picking it up, wondering what secret it held. Meet me in the library after class. Her words sent a shiver down my spine. I glanced up, and there was Leanne, daggers in her eyes. She was watching us like a hawk, ready to pounce. Then I saw her, Price, in the lunch line, staring right at me. Her jaw was tight, and her eyes burned with something I couldn't place. She grabbed her food without taking her eyes off us. Her salad sat untouched, like she had no appetite. Her knuckles whitened as she gripped her tray tighter. She turned and walked away, but I could still feel her gaze. What was going on? Why was everyone acting so strange? Andrea just smiled, like she knew exactly what I was thinking. The cafeteria felt smaller suddenly, like all eyes were on me. I clutched the note tighter, wondering what the library would bring. The noise of the cafeteria faded into a buzz in my ears. I poked at my salad, suddenly not hungry anymore. Andrea placed her hand over mine, her touch surprisingly warm. "Trust me," she whispered, and for some reason, I did. The bell rang, and I knew my quiet life was about to change forever. I snuck to the library's back corner, heart racing. Andrea was waiting, a secret hidden in her phone. She'd been acting weird all week, like she was carrying the world's heaviest secret. Then she pulled out her phone, her fingers trembling like she was handling a bomb. My breath caught. It was her and Leanne, locked in a kiss I never thought I'd see. We sat in silence, the photo hanging between us like a weight I couldn't lift. I always knew there was something between them, but seeing it hit like a punch to the gut. She begged me not to tell, fear written all over her perfect face. What I didn't know was that someone was watching, someone I never wanted to see this. Her knuckles white from gripping the door, her face a mask of shock I couldn't read. She didn't stay long. One quiet turn, and she was gone before I could call out. A faint creak caught my ear. I turned, my blood running cold when I saw the empty doorway. I knew it was her. Price had seen everything, and now my own secret felt more fragile than ever. The library felt suffocating. Every book felt like it was staring, like they all knew what had just happened. Andrea's eyes filled with terror. What if she tells? She whispered, her voice breaking. I squeezed her hand, forcing courage into my voice. I won't let that happen, but I wasn't sure if I meant it. My gaze kept drifting to that doorway. Price's face, that mix of shock and confusion, played on repeat in my head. I clenched my fists until my nails dug into my palms. This wasn't just Andrea's secret anymore, it was mine too. In that big, quiet library, I felt smaller than ever. 2 secrets, 2 girls, and a mess we might never fix. I stood up, my legs wobbly. I needed to find Price, to talk, to fix this before it broke us all. But she was already gone. Only a faint footprint remained, a reminder of the secret she now carried. I was strolling down the academy hallway, no clue what was about to hit me. The linoleum clicked under my boots, the usual campus chaos all around me. Then she stepped out, Price Winsley, ice in her eyes, blocking every inch of my path. Her steps were sharp, her hand clenched tight like she held a weapon. The noise faded, everyone knew better than to mess with her, the icy queen. Then she held it up, Andrea and Leanne, their secret captured in a single shot. My blood ran cold. She was going to expose them, expose everything we were hiding. I stepped back, ready for the explosion, for the whole academy to turn on us. But instead of yelling, her fingers curled in, crumpling the photo in her fist. Then she tore it, right down the middle, like the secret meant nothing. Pieces fluttered down, silent proof of a secret she'd chosen to bury. My jaw dropped. I'd been ready for war, not this. She turned to leave, her back straight, but I caught the smallest softening in her shoulders. I stood frozen, watching her walk away, my mind racing a mile a minute. The pieces lay at my feet, a silent message I was still trying to decode. I reached for a piece, then pulled back, afraid to break whatever fragile truce this was. The noise picked back up, but I was still stuck, replaying every second in my head. That icy queen had a soft side one I was determined to uncover, no matter what. I took a step, my boot crunching on a piece of paper, and kept walking. The hallway stretched ahead, and I knew this was just the start of something huge. Later, I spotted her hand in her pocket clutching what was left of that secret. She leaned against a wall, staring out the window for a second. She didn't look like a queen at all. As a vampire hiding in human school, I thought I'd seen everything until today. I was lounging in the bleachers, pretending to fit in like any normal human student. But my vampire senses tingled something unexpected was about to happen. Then Leanne stumbled mid-tumble, her balance completely gone in an instant. Before she hit the ground, Andrea darted in, catching her perfectly on time. Their hands lingered just a second too long, everyone missed it, but I didn't. That's when I saw her, Price, our icy school queen, standing by the door. For the first time ever, she wasn't scowling, she was smiling, truly smiling. My vampire heart skipped a beat. I couldn't look away from that smile. I slid down the bleachers, my boots hitting the floor with a soft, determined thud. Every step toward her felt like walking on thin ice, but I had to know. Price jumped when she saw me, her smile fading faster than I could blink. Her cheeks flushed bright red, she couldn't hide how embarrassed she was. "You were smiling," I said, my voice lower than I intended to be. "I wasn't," she snapped, turning away, but her red cheeks told a different story. I leaned against the wall, watching her squirm. She was hiding something big. Her jaw was tight, but there was a tremble in her voice she couldn't hide. I pushed off the wall, taking a step closer. "You don't have to hide from me," I said. She flinched, like my words had burned her. "Get away from me," she whispered. As she ran down the hall, I stood there, more determined than ever to uncover her secret. As a vampire who'd hidden for years, I knew exactly what it felt like to be scared. And I wasn't going to let Price face this alone, not if I could help it. I waited in the empty parking lot, my motorcycle's engine humming softly beside me. The last students had left, leaving only quiet and the thud of my own heartbeat. Then she arrived, her fancy sports car failing her right when she needed it most. She kicked the tire in frustration, her icy mask slipping for just a split second. I revved my engine, offering her a ride she couldn't possibly refuse now. She hesitated, her blue eyes darting between me and her broken-down car. I smiled, patting the motorcycle seat behind me, silently urging her to come. Finally, she made up her mind, her shoulders straightening as she walked toward me. She walked toward me, each step sounding louder than the last in the quiet lot. Her hand gripped the motorcycle's handrail, her fingers tightening slightly with nerves. She climbed on behind me, her body pressing against my back in a way that made my breath catch. Her arms wrapped around my waist, tight and warm, like she never wanted to let go. I gripped the handlebars, my hands shaking slightly as I prepared to rev the engine. The engine roared to life, the sound cutting through the quiet like a promise. We pulled out of the lot, her head resting gently against my back, and for a moment, everything felt right. The wind whipped through our hair as we drove down the empty country road. I couldn't help smiling, feeling her warmth against me and the freedom of the road. She closed her eyes, letting the wind carry away her stress, and she wasn't the icy queen anymore. We headed toward the overlook, the city lights twinkling like fallen stars in the distance. We stopped at the overlook, sitting in silence, watching the city glow below us. I never thought I'd be here, carrying the icy school queen on my motorcycle. The wind in my hair, her arms around my waist, this feels too good to be real. Her icy facade's cracking, and I'm the one lucky enough to see it. Up ahead, the overlook glows with city lights, our quiet little escape. We're finally here, away from the school, away from everyone's expectations. The engine falls silent, leaving only us and the city's hum. She moves without her usual stiffness, like she's finally letting go. When I look at her, I forget all about my vampire secret for a second. We sit on the bike's hood, and for once, there's no tension between us. Her head falls on my shoulder, and my heart feels like it's going to burst. I want to hold her, but I'm scared I'll break this fragile moment. The city lights stretch out below us, like a sea of stars. I hate being the queen, she says. I just want to be normal. I tell her she's not alone, and for once, I mean it with all my heart. For a little while, we're just two girls, not a vampire and a school queen. I realize in this moment I'm falling for her, hard. She looks up at me, and I can see she feels it too. A car passes below, its lights shining on us, but we don't pull away. This is real, I think. This moment is actually real. But I know this can't last forever. My secret is still hanging over us. She laces her fingers with mine, and for now, I forget all my fears. For the first time in years, I feel truly alive. Price and I sat on the overlook, city lights stretching out below us. It was so quiet you could almost hear the city breathing. Then she leaned her head on my shoulder, and my heart stopped. My hand hovered behind her back, scared to break the fragile moment. For a second, I thought the ice between us had melted. I could smell her strawberry shampoo, sweet and warm against my neck. I wanted to stay in that moment forever. No secrets, no lies. But headlights cut through the dark, sharp and sudden, shattering the quiet. Price jumped up, her body rigid like she'd been burned by the light. The warmth vanished instantly, replaced by cold, familiar distance. She fixed her blazer, not meeting my eyes, like nothing had happened. My fist clenched so tight, I thought my nails would break my skin. The car drove away, leaving us in dark quiet, colder than before. She stepped back, putting space between us like I was a stranger again. The softness in her eyes vanished, replaced by that cold wall I hated. I stayed sitting there, watching her pull away, feeling more alone than ever. What was I thinking? That one moment could fix everything? We were back to square one, my secret still hanging between us. The moon was bright above, but it didn't warm the cold in my chest. I saw her hand shaking like she fought a war only she knew about. She walked away without looking back, and I knew I had to fight for us. Chemistry class felt like torture today. All I could do was stare at her back. Every second dragged by, waiting for any sign from her. Then I saw at her hand, white-knuckled, holding something. Slowly, carefully, she passed it back to me. My heart raced as I reached for that crumpled paper, but the words on it hit me like a punch to the gut. It stung, but I knew it wasn't the end. Just then, Marge called on me, yanking me back to reality. I answered her question steady, even though my chest felt tight. I could feel her tensing up, like she was just as torn as me. She wasn't rejecting me, she was just scared. I crumpled the note, but I didn't throw it away. I wasn't giving up on her, not now, not ever. She was worth fighting for, even if she couldn't see it yet. I could tell she was struggling too, just hiding it better. Marge gave me a small nod, like she knew what I was going through. Class dragged on, but I had a new goal. Finally, the clock ticked towards the end of class. As the bell rang, I got ready to follow her. I wasn't letting her run away from how we felt. She tried to rush out, like she couldn't bear to face me. I followed her out, keeping my distance but never losing sight. Lunch with Andrea and Leanne was going fine until I felt her eyes on me. We were just chatting about stupid school stuff, but I knew exactly who was staring. Leanne started rambling about their secret mall dates like we weren't hiding our own truths. There she was, the icy queen of the academy, watching me like I was a puzzle she needed to solve. I don't know what came over me. I just waved, like we were old friends or something. Her reaction was priceless. She jumped like I'd burned her, then looked away like I didn't exist. Andrea snickered and nudged me like she'd been waiting for this exact moment. She's so into you, Leanne said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. I rolled my eyes, but I couldn't stop the stupid smile from creeping onto my face. When I glanced back, Price was already halfway out the door like she couldn't get away fast enough. My hand tightened around my water glass. What if they were right? What if she did like me? My friends didn't let up. They kept teasing me until I was ready to hide under the table. I couldn't stop watching her leave, my mind racing with a million what-ifs. What was she hiding? Why did she act like I was both fascinating and terrifying? Lunch ended way too soon, but I couldn't stop thinking about her, about us. I stood up, my legs wobbly like I'd just run a marathon. What was this girl doing to me? I glanced back one last time, half hoping she'd still be there. She wasn't. But I knew this wasn't the end. Something was between us, something I needed to figure out. The sun hit my face as we walked out, and I made a promise to myself. I'd find out her secret, and maybe, just maybe, I'd let her find out mine too. I had to get answers, no more avoiding what happened last night. Every step felt heavy, but I couldn't turn back now. The rooftop door loomed ahead. This was where I'd get the truth. When I pushed the door open, there she was alone with her thoughts. The rooftop felt huge and empty, like the space between us. Her knuckles were white, gripping the railing like it was her only anchor. I walked closer, every step, making the silence feel louder. I had to ask, was last night really just a mistake? Her eyes widened, like she didn't expect me to say it out loud. She turned to face me, her face a mix of fear and something else. She took a shaky breath. No, it wasn't a mistake. For a second, I thought everything would change, but then her face fell. She clenched her fists, like she was fighting against something I couldn't see. But she looked away, voice breaking. I can't be with you, Blair. My heart dropped. Why? What's stopping you? She wouldn't look at me, like she couldn't bear to tell me the truth. I reached out, like I could pull the secret out of her if I just touched her. But she stepped away, putting more distance between us than ever. I had to know, what are you so afraid of? Tell me. She didn't answer. She just walked away, leaving me with more questions than answers. On the rooftop with Price, I could see the fear drowning in her eyes. We stood silent as the wind whipped through her hair, each second heavy with unspoken words. Her knuckles whitened as she gripped the railing, finally ready to break her silence. Her voice shook as she spoke of her dad, how he controlled every part of her life. She told me she's terrified he'll find out about us, about the life she's finally dared to want. Tears streamed down her face, and I could feel her desperation like it was my own. I reached out to comfort her, but pulled back afraid I'd only make her pain worse. Before I could say anything, she spun around and ran, her sobs echoing through the air. I stood frozen for a second, then my resolve hardened. I wasn't going to let her face this alone. Watching her go, I made a promise to myself I'd help her break free from his control. I clenched my fists, feeling the weight of my secret and her fear mixing together. I walked toward the stairs, my steps steady, already planning how to help her. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was ready to fight for her, for us. The sun was setting fast, and every minute felt like it was working against us. I took one last look at the rooftop, then headed inside, ready to start our fight. I pulled out my phone, drafting a message to her, but deleted it. She needed more than words right now. I walked through the empty halls, my mind racing with plans to take down her father's control. The halls were empty, but I could feel the weight of what we were up against pressing down on me. As I stepped outside, the last of the sunlight hit my jacket, and I knew this was only the beginning. No matter what it takes, I'm going to help Price break free, and we're going to be together, no matter who tries to stop us. I walked to my motorcycle, grabbing my helmet, ready to head out and start making our plan a reality. I straddled my bike, the engine's hum ready to roar to life, carrying me toward the next step in our fight. I sit on my bed, staring at Price's note, my chest tight with worry. My room feels too quiet, too empty without her here. Her words are scribbled, like she was shaking when she wrote them. A knock breaks the silence, Marge's gentle signal. She steps in, holding the blood bags I need, her face soft with concern. She always brings exactly what I need, no questions first. I open my mouth, and all the words about Price come rushing out. I tell her about Price's dad, how scared she is to be herself. Marge sits close, her presence warm and steady beside me. Her hand covers mine, and I feel some of the tension melt away. She says she knows what Price is going through, that she's seen it before. I stare at her, shocked she's offering to help us. She wants to help Price find her voice, to stop hiding. Tears fall, but this time they're tears of hope, not fear. For the first time in so long, I feel like I'm not fighting alone. She hands me a blood bag, a quiet reminder I'm cared for. She sets it on the desk, like it's just a normal drink, not a secret. For once, being who I am doesn't feel like a curse. I grip it tightly, knowing we can fix this, together. I thank her, my voice steady, full of gratitude. The room feels warm, like a real home, a place I belong. We sit in silence, but it's a comfortable, hopeful silence. I place Price's note next to the blood bag, a symbol of our fight. Tomorrow we won't hide anymore. Tomorrow we fight for what's ours. I was hunting for Price in the empty halls, something feeling off. Then I heard voices, cold, sharp, familiar ones that made my blood run cold. There she was trapped, surrounded by my worst nightmare, her controlling father. His hand clamped down on her shoulder, tight, possessive, unyielding, a silent threat. He brought his cronies, turning our quiet school into his personal courtroom of control. Price's face was a perfect mask, no fear, no anger, nothing at all to show her pain. His friends stared like statues, enforcing his silent rules with just their gazes. My fists clenched so tight I thought my knuckles would split from the pressure. I couldn't hear his words, but his tone screamed one thing: obey me, or else. Price's head dipped, her body going rigid under his unrelenting control. I hid behind a pillar, watching every second, burning with helpless, hot rage. But beneath the rage, something stronger grew, a fierce, unbreakable resolve. Finally, he turned, his cronies trailing behind him, leaving her alone at last. Price stood alone in the empty hall, a small, fragile figure against the cold walls. Her shoulders trembled, just a little proof the perfect mask was finally cracking. I didn't hesitate. My feet moved before I even thought, carrying me straight to her. I stood beside her, not saying a word, just letting her know she wasn't alone anymore. She looked up, her eyes wide with shock, like she'd forgotten someone could care about her. I gave her a small, gentle smile, proof that I was here, and I wasn't leaving. Together, we stood against the empty hall, and I swore I'd never let her face this alone again. I'm sitting in the cafeteria with my friends, but my vampire secret weighs heavy on me. Leanne's telling us all about how Price's dad controls every part of her life. He's so strict, she can't even breathe without his permission. Andrea nods in agreement. Price has no freedom at all. Then I see them, Price and her dad, walking right past our table. She looks like a puppet, no will of her own. Anger boils up in me. I can't just sit here and watch this. I stand up suddenly, and my friends stare at me in shock. I walk straight toward them, and the whole cafeteria goes quiet. Price's dad frowns, his eyes icy as he looks at me. Price's eyes widen. She can't believe I'm doing this. I speak up, telling him I'm Blair, Price's friend, and he's way too hard on her. His hand clenches, he's furious, demanding to know who I am to speak to him like that. I step closer, telling him I care about Price, and he can't control her like this. The whole cafeteria is watching, some shocked, some like they're rooting for me. Price looks at me, her icy eyes softening just a little. Price's dad looks from her to me, like he's finally thinking about what he's doing. He turns, telling Price to come with him, but his voice isn't as cold as before. I let out a breath, smiling. I did what was right. My friends run over, hugging me, they're proud of what I did. I couldn't take it anymore. Watching her get torn down like that, I had to stand up. The cafeteria buzzed with noise, but all I saw was her trapped across the room. Her dad's cold eyes cut through her, sharp as a knife. I felt my blood boil. My boots hit the tile hard, each step bringing me closer to the fight I knew was coming. I stopped right at their table, the noise fading around us. It was just the three of us now. I didn't hesitate. "I'm Price's friend," I said, my voice steady even though my hands shook. His face went slack, glasses slipping down his nose. No one ever talked back to him like that. "You're far too hard on her," I pushed, leaning in a little. "She deserves better." I glanced at Price, and for a second, I saw the glimmer of something warm in her cold eyes. She shot up so fast her chair scraped the floor, yanking my arm to pull me away. We wove through the tables, her dad's angry shouts echoing behind us. I didn't care. I stumbled a little, but I didn't resist. I could feel her grip tight, but not unkind. We burst through the cafeteria doors, the cold air hitting my face. She stopped suddenly, making me bump into her. She turned to me, her cheeks pink with anger. But there were tears in her eyes too. I reached out, gently touching her arm. "I'm sorry if I overstepped," I said quietly. She didn't say anything. She just pulled me into a hug, holding me like I was her lifeline. People stared from the cafeteria windows, but I didn't mind. For the first time, she felt real. She whispered in my ear, so quiet I barely heard it. "Thank you." My heart skipped a beat. We pulled apart, but she didn't let go of my hand. Her fingers were warm against mine. We walked out into the sunlight, leaving the chaos behind us. Something had changed between us. I glanced back once, seeing her dad still staring after us. But I wasn't scared anymore. For the first time since I got here, I felt like I belonged, like I wasn't just hiding anymore. I was buried in a book in the quiet library, completely unaware of what was about to happen. The library was my safe haven, where I could let my guard down for a little while. Then she walked in Price, the girl I thought would never notice me like this. My heart raced as she made her way straight toward my table. Was this really happening? She sat right across from me, and the air suddenly felt thick with unspoken words. Her hand reached out, holding a small folded note that made my breath catch. She slid it across the table to me, her eyes never leaving mine for a second. My eyes widened in shock and quiet joy. I never expected this from her. I reached for the note, my fingers trembling slightly with excitement. As I unfolded the note, she stood up, like she couldn't wait to leave before I could react. Her movements were quick, like she was afraid to show how nervous she really was. She walked away fast, leaving me alone with the note and a million questions. But all I could feel was pure happiness. She wanted to meet me after school. I carefully tucked the note into my jacket pocket, like it was the most precious thing I owned. The rest of the afternoon passed in a blur. My mind stuck on that one simple message. "Meet me after school." Those words played on repeat in my head, making me grin like an idiot. I couldn't focus on my book anymore. Every minute felt like an hour waiting for school to end. I kept glancing at the door, counting down the minutes until I could see her again. Finally, it was time. I packed my books as fast as I could, my hands still shaking a little. As I walked out of the library, my heart was racing again. This was really happening, our first real chance. I waited by my motorcycle, heart racing for Price to show up. Then I saw her, Price, walking out like she finally meant it. Her hands shook, but she kept coming straight for me. Every step felt like she was letting her walls crumble down. I nodded at the motorcycle, and she didn't hesitate this time. She climbed on behind me, her warmth spreading through my back. Her arms wrapped around my waist, tight, warm, no longer stiff with fear. I revved the engine, ready to take us far from the academy's lies. We pulled out of the lot, leaving all the unspoken rules behind us. The open road stretched ahead, just us and the fading sunlight. For the first time, I didn't feel like I had to hide who I was. She pressed her cheek to my back, and I breathed in her strawberry shampoo. The world blurred past, but all I could focus on was her hold. We were heading back to the overlook where we first let our guards fall. The city lights glowed ahead, like a million tiny stars just for us. We parked, and we sat there, watching the lights spread across the city. This time, there was no rush, no fear, just us, finally together. Her hand found mine, and we held on like we never wanted to let go. I looked at her, and I knew this was where I was always meant to be. For the first time in forever, I felt truly alive, all because of her. Nothing could break us now, not when we finally had each other. This was our story, and we were just getting started together. I never thought the icy queen of our school would let her guard down like this. Here, overlooking the city lights, she finally stopped pretending to be perfect. Her dad's control has been suffocating her for years. She could never be herself. I didn't know what to say at first, so I just held her close. She told me she was tired of being the perfect daughter everyone demanded. Every choice, every word, every smile, all of it was scripted by him. She wasn't allowed to like girls, to wear casual clothes, to even have hobbies. I wanted to tell her my own secret, but I was too scared to break this moment. She said she felt like a doll, just going through the motions every single day. For the first time in her life, she was letting someone see the real her. I told her she didn't have to be perfect with me, that she could just be Price. She looked at me, and for the first time, I saw a real smile on her face. We sat there in silence for a long time, just watching the city lights blink. I realized in that moment that I didn't just like her, I cared about her more than anything. I wanted to tell her I loved her. But I was still scared of my own secret. She fell asleep like that, her breath warm against my neck, and I never wanted to move. I decided right then that I would do whatever it took to keep her safe, even if it meant hiding forever. The city woke up around us, but we stayed in our little bubble of peace. When she woke up, she looked embarrassed, but also a little happy. We walked back to school together, our hands still linked, and I knew nothing would ever be the same. I still had my secret to keep, but for the first time, I didn't feel alone. I held her as she cried, her tears soaking through my leather jacket. The city lights stretched below us, silent witnesses to our secret. When she pulled away, her eyes were red, but her expression wasn't cold anymore. She leaned in slowly, and my breath caught in my throat. Then she kissed me, and the world just stopped. My eyes widened in shock before fluttering shut, letting myself feel it. Her lips were warm, tasting like strawberry lip balm I'd noticed before. Then headlights cut through the dark, startling us both. I thought she'd pull away and run, but she just moved closer. Her forehead pressed against mine, her blue eyes soft with something new. She said it first, her voice barely a whisper. I like you, a lot. My answer was immediate, my heart still pounding. I like you too. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the secret I carried, not her overbearing dad. I felt tears in my eyes, not from sadness, but from something new. But I knew it wouldn't be easy. Her dad would never let this stand. She squeezed my hand, as if she was thinking the same thing. We sat there for a long time, just watching the city glow. For the first time in forever, I didn't feel like a freak. I felt seen. Together, we could take on anything, or at least, that's what I told myself. I revved the engine, ready to face whatever came next. The road ahead was uncertain, but we were in it together. This was only the beginning, but I was ready to fight for us. I was still replaying that kiss with Price, my heart racing like crazy. I was home, reliving every second of that perfect moment. Then my phone buzzed, jolting me out of my daydream. I reached for it, my stomach twisting with sudden worry. It was from Price. She said her dad found out about us. My hands started shaking, fear coiling in my chest. Marge must have noticed my face. She walked into my room. Her voice was soft, full of worry, asking what was wrong. I showed her the text, my voice shaking as I spoke. Her face fell and she sat down beside me, her hand on my shoulder. She reminded me of the real danger, my vampire secret. If her dad finds out what I am, everything could fall apart. She warned me to be careful, to lay low for now. I nodded, my hands clenching the sheets until my knuckles whitened. The air in the room felt heavy, thick with unspoken fear. Price didn't text back. I was left with nothing but worry. I stared out the window, wondering what Price was going through. The city lights looked so far away, so unreachable in that moment. Marge handed me a glass of water, her voice soft with sympathy. She told me we'd figure it out together, that I wasn't alone. But I knew I couldn't let Price face this alone. I looked at Price's photo, my resolve growing stronger. I stood up, my mind made up I had to see her. I opened the door, the cool night air hitting my face. I took a step forward, ready to face whatever came next for us. I was rushing down the school hallway, searching for Price, unaware of the danger ahead. The halls buzzed with students, but my eyes only scanned for one familiar face. Suddenly, a cold, imposing figure blocked my path, Price's father. My fists clenched tight, every muscle in my body tensing at his presence. We stood locked in a stare, every student around us falling silent to watch. Stay away from my daughter, he hissed, or I'll ensure you never return here. I lifted my chin, refusing to cower. I won't leave her. I can't. His gaze sharpened even more, his threat cutting through the air like a blade. Just then, I heard urgent footsteps. Price was sprinting toward us. She skidded to a stop beside me, shoving herself between him and me. Dad, stop this, she yelled, her voice trembling with emotion. The entire hallway went silent, every student watching our every move intently. His fists clenched so tight, his knuckles whitened, his face red with rage. Price squeezed my hand tightly, her touch a steady anchor in the chaos. She's the only one who makes me feel alive, she cried, tears streaming down her face. For a split second, he froze, shock washing over his cold, hard face. I looked at Price, my heart swelling with love for how brave she was. Without another word, he turned and stormed down the hallway, leaving us shaken. Price leaned against me, her body still trembling from the intensity. We stood there together, breathless, knowing this was only the start. But as long as we had each other, we could face whatever came next. I'm about to tell Price the secret that could ruin everything. She has no idea how much this will change our lives. My hands shake as I prepare to say the words I've feared for so long. Each step feels like it's taking me closer to either salvation or ruin. The wind feels like it's carrying all my fears away before I speak. Here goes nothing. I take a deep breath, and finally speak the truth. Her eyes widen, and for a second, I think she'll run away from me. But she doesn't step back. She just stands there, staring at me in shock. I hold my breath, waiting for her to say something, anything. Then she takes a step closer, and my heart skips a beat. I can't believe what I'm about to hear. Will she hate me now? She's getting closer, but I still can't read her expression. The wind blows around us, carrying her voice to my ears. Her hand lifts, and I flinch, expecting rejection. But her touch is gentle, not angry. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. She looks at me, and I can see it in her eyes. This doesn't change anything. She pulls me into a hug, and all my fears melt away in that moment. The sun sets behind us, and for the first time, I feel truly seen. I hold her tight, not wanting this perfect moment to end. We pull back, foreheads touching, and I know we'll face whatever comes together. We stood before her family's mansion, my heart pounding like it might burst. This grand house was always a cage for her, and today we were breaking its bars. I knew this wouldn't be easy, but I was ready to fight for us. We stepped inside, the air thick with tension and unspoken judgment. The living room looked beautiful, but it felt like a tomb waiting to bury us. Her father appeared, his gaze cutting through us like a blade. His eyes sized me up, and I could see the disgust growing in them. Price took a deep breath, ready to shatter all his expectations. She looked him straight in the eye and said, "She's my girlfriend." His face darkened, anger boiling just beneath the surface. And then she dropped the bomb, and she's a vampire. For a second, he froze, then rage exploded in his eyes. He slammed his hand on the table, the sound echoing like a gunshot. "Get her out of my house," he roared. "You will never see her again." But Price didn't flinch. She tightened her grip on my hand. Her blue eyes blazed with defiance. She was done being his puppet. "You can't control me anymore," she declared. "I'm going to be with who I love." His face turned purple with rage, and I thought he might strike her. Just then, her mother appeared, her face filled with worry. "Calm down," she said, stepping between us. "This isn't the way." But Price wouldn't back down. Her resolve was unbreakable. She grabbed my hand and headed for the door. We were done here. He didn't say a word, but his eyes warned us this wasn't over. As we stepped outside, the night air felt like a breath of fresh freedom. I pulled her into a hug, whispering that we'd gotten through the hardest part. We walked toward my motorcycle, ready to leave this cage behind us. Our hands stayed locked, a promise that we'd face whatever came next together. Inside, her father watched us leave, his face a mix of anger and something like regret. His wife placed a hand on his shoulder, silently telling him he'd pushed too far. We rode off into the night, not knowing what the future held, but we knew we had each other. When Price begged me to rush over, I had no clue how explosive this fight would be. Her house always felt like a fancy cage, and today, that cage was finally cracking apart. Price refused to back down, even when her voice cracked with unshed tears. Then her mom appeared, moving with a quiet strength that silenced the room instantly. She stepped between them, a wall of calm against the raging storm of anger. Her mom's voice was soft but sharp, like she'd waited decades to save us. She spoke of her own secret struggles, ones she'd hidden from everyone for years. Price's anger melted into shock. She had no clue her mom had gone through the same. I watched from the corner, realizing this was more than just a fight. This was a reckoning. Her dad's fist unclenched slowly, his anger fading into something like shame. For the first time, I saw cracks in that cold, unbreakable facade of his. Her mom pulled Price close, and I could almost feel the weight lift off her shoulders. Without a word, her dad turned and walked away, defeated for the first time ever. Price's tears finally fell, but this time, they were tears of relief, not anger. They held each other tight, like they were mending years of hidden pain in that hug. I pulled out my phone, almost unconsciously, wanting to save this soft, rare moment. Standing in the doorway, I realized this was what family should feel like, messy, but warm. Her mom caught my eye and smiled, like she was thanking me for being here for Price. Then Price looked at me, arms open wide, and I knew I was part of this now too. We huddled together, and for the first time, that cold house felt like a real home. I glanced up and saw her dad watching from the stairs, a small, almost smile on his face. The sun set through the windows, painting everything in gold, and I knew this was just the start. Sitting in Price's room, I finally let myself breathe for the first time. No lies, no secrets hiding for once, we could just be us. A soft knock pulled us from our quiet, happy moment. Price's mom stood there, holding mugs of steaming hot chocolate. She didn't seem scared, she looked genuinely curious about me. The warm, sweet scent filled the room, wrapping around me like a hug. She asked about my vampire life, no fear or judgment in her voice. I hesitated at first, but Price's hand squeezed mine to calm me. I told her about blood bags, daywalking, about never hurting anyone. She listened carefully, nodding like it was just a normal story. Price smiled at me, proud of me for finally being brave enough. Footsteps in the hall made my heart jump. Price's dad was passing by. I froze, expecting anger instead. He gave me a small, genuine smile. That's when I realized this was what family truly felt like. He didn't speak, but that smile said more than words ever could. Price squeezed my hand again, like she knew exactly what I felt. Price's mom handed me the mug, her eyes warm with understanding. The mug was warm in my hands, matching the warmth in my chest. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like a monster. In that room, with that warmth, I knew I was finally home. I never thought I'd ever be accepted like this, let alone loved. Price leaned her head on my shoulder, and we sat in quiet, perfect happiness. Her mom smiled at us, like she'd been waiting for this moment too. Even Price's dad, once so cold, seemed to have truly softened. In that warmth, I knew I'd never have to hide or be alone again. I never thought we'd walk this hallway, holding hands for everyone to see. Every eye on us, but no laughs, no shouts, just pure shock. For so long I hid who I was. Now, I don't have to anymore. Price's hand in mine feels like a promise, one I intend to keep. We're not just Blair and Price anymore. We're us, out loud. I spot Andrea and Leanne heading our way, grins on their faces. "About time you two showed up," Leanne says, squeezing me tight. Andrea winks at Price. "Took you long enough to catch up." Then I see him, Price's dad, walking toward us. My heart races. He makes eye contact and nods. A small, subtle nod. Price's shoulders relax. For the first time, she looks truly free. The whispers start, not cruel, just curious. This is acceptance. This isn't the end, it's just the start for us, and everyone like us. The sun hits our faces, warm and bright. For once, I feel like I belong. A student smiles at me, not with pity, but with understanding. With my friends by my side and Price's hand in mine, I can face anything. We walk toward the exit, ready for whatever comes next, together. I used to fear the world seeing me. Now, I hope they do. Price looks at me like I'm her whole world, and for her, I am. The hallway returns to normal, but we're not. We're better, together. I was perched on the gym bleachers, my mind racing with unspoken hopes. Leanne and Andrea dominated their routine. You could feel the crowd's excitement. Then I saw her, Price, walking straight toward me like she owned the place. My breath caught as her eyes locked on mine. Nothing else mattered anymore. She slid into the seat beside me, and the gym's noise faded to a hum. Our hands almost brushed, and I could feel my cheeks burning up. Leanne and Andrea nailed their final move, total perfection. The crowd erupted in cheers. They were going wild for the routine. Then they did it, held hands, out in the open, no more hiding. Their hands were locked tight, proud and unapologetic about who they were. The gym got even louder. Everyone was cheering for their courage. I smiled so wide my cheeks hurt, proud of them, and hopeful for us. When I turned to Price, she was already staring at me, soft and warm. Her usual icy facade was gone. This was the real Price, and I loved her. Without a word, she leaned her head on my shoulder, light and warm. I froze for a second, scared to break this perfect, quiet moment. The gym's noise faded away. All I could feel was her beside me. We sat there together, quiet and content, while the world kept moving. I carefully rested my hand on her back, trying to hold on to this feeling. For the first time in forever, I felt truly, completely happy. The day went on, but nothing could ruin this perfect feeling we shared. Price and I were finally finding peace, cuddled up watching movies at my place. I thought my vampire secret was finally safe, buried deep where no one would find it. But that peace was shattered in an instant, when my phone buzzed unexpectedly. I reached for it, curious who'd be texting me at this hour. When I saw the unknown number, a cold dread settled in my bones. The message made my blood run cold. I know your secret, Blair Kendall. My hands started shaking, the phone almost slipping from my grasp. All I could think about was what would happen if my secret got out. Price noticed my panic immediately, leaning in to see what was wrong. She placed her hand over mine, her touch warm and steady, trying to calm me down. But the fear lingered. Someone knew. Someone was watching me. I had no idea who this person was, or what they wanted from me. But I wasn't going to let them scare me. I needed to find out who they were. We couldn't ignore this. We had to face this threat head on. Price was right beside me, ready to help me figure this out. The cozy room that felt safe now felt like a trap, walls closing in on us. I typed out a reply, trying to figure out what this stranger wanted from me. Price leaned in, watching as I typed, ready to face whatever came next. We waited for a reply, every second feeling like an eternity. When my phone buzzed again, my heart skipped a beat. What would they say next? I couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of something worse. Price held me close, whispering that we'd get through this together. Price and me, finally out in the open, but someone's watching and they're hiding something. We held hands as we walked through the academy halls, finally free to be ourselves. Then I saw her, Mia Carter, her eyes locked on me, sharp and suspicious. Before I could speak, she spun around and hurried away, like she was scared of being caught. Price squeezed my hand, but I couldn't shake the feeling she knows my secret. I need to find out what she knows. This isn't just about me, it's about us. I pointed toward the direction she'd gone, and Price nodded, ready to help me get answers. Mia was hiding behind the lockers, peeking at us like she was waiting for us to leave. My phone buzzed another text from that unknown number. It had to be her. We walked toward the lockers, our steps firm. I had to know why she was targeting me. I could see her hand gripping the locker, knuckles white with tension. She was terrified. I stepped toward her, calm but firm. Price stayed close, a silent promise of support. When she turned to face me, her eyes were wide with panic, her lips trembling like she'd been caught red-handed. I put a gentle hand on her shoulder. I won't hurt you. Just tell me what's going on. She stepped back, pressing against the lockers and looked away, refusing to meet my eyes. Price placed her hand on my arm, a silent reminder to be patient, to let Mia talk in her own time. Then she pulled out a photo of me, feeding from a blood bag. How had she gotten this? The photo was clear me, in the woods, drinking from a blood bag. She'd been watching me for weeks. My breath caught. She had proof of my secret. What was she going to do with it? The air thickened with tension. Mia held the photo like a weapon, and I waited for her to make her move. Her eyes were a mix of fear and anger. "You're a monster," she whispered, but her voice shook like she didn't believe it. I took a step forward, my voice steady. "I've never hurt anyone. I only use blood bags, no humans, ever. Price and I are hunting for the student who exposed my secret, deep in the school library. The library feels more suffocating than usual, every sound echoing like a threat. We flipped through student records one by one, searching for any clue. Price's fingers move quickly, her focus never wavering for a second. Then we see it, Mia Carter. That's the name we've been looking for. Her name stares back at us, bold and unapologetic. This is our target. Just as we find her name, my phone buzzes in my pocket, another message. I pull out my phone, my hands shaking slightly from the tension. The message is short and sharp. "Meet me in the parking lot after school." Price and I lock eyes, and I know we're both ready to face this. She squeezes my hand, a silent promise that we'll get through this together. We gather our things, our movements quick and purposeful. The clock is ticking. I tuck the records into my bag, determined to uncover Mia's full plan. The zipper clicks shut, a sound that feels like the start of a battle. We walk toward the exit, our backs straight, ready to face whatever waits for us. The library falls silent behind us, but our hearts are racing faster than ever. My phone lights up again, another reminder of the meeting I can't avoid. Price's eyes show worry, but there's unshakable determination there too. We stand at the library door, staring toward the parking lot where our fate awaits. I smirk a little, whoever Mia is. She has no idea who she's up against. I waited with Price in the school parking lot, my throat tight with fear of what would come. We'd been waiting for hours, every car passing making my heart leap in my chest. Then she emerged from behind a car, holding the thing that could destroy everything I built. The photo showed me feeding from a blood bag in the woods, my most hidden shame exposed. She called me a monster, her voice sharp enough to cut through the silence of the lot. I felt my face go hot, desperate to explain that I wasn't what she thought I was. Price stood beside me, her hand tightening on mine like she was ready to fight for me. I tried to reach out, to make her see I never hurt anyone, I only used blood bags. But she just stepped back, her eyes blazing with suspicion like she already had her mind made up. She warned me that if I ever harmed anyone, she'd show this photo to the whole school. I felt my fists clench at my sides, her threat hanging heavy like a stone in my stomach. Price stepped in front of me, her voice steady as she told Mia to leave us alone. Mia turned and walked away, the photo still clutched in her hand like a weapon she'd saved for later. I stood there, my legs weak, wondering if this was the end of my secret, normal life. Price pulled me into a hug, whispering that we'd find a way to get through this together. I let myself lean into her, for the first time feeling truly scared for what the future held. We stayed there for a long time, the silence, a reminder of everything we stood to lose if she exposed me. But as I looked up at her, I knew I wasn't ready to give up, not yet, not after everything. We walked to my motorcycle, our hands still locked, ready to face whatever came next. We drove out of the lot, the sunrise ahead of us, but the threat of Mia still hanging over our heads. Staring at this blood bag, I know my secret hangs by a thread. Price stays by my side, but fear gnaws at both of us. A knock breaks the silence. Marge is here, with warnings, not just surprise. She steps in, her face tight with the weight of what she has to say. She doesn't sugarcoat it, she lays out the full danger we face. If that photo leaks, the school will turn on me instantly, no mercy. But that's not all. The vampire clan won't ignore this betrayal either. I've hidden for so long. But now, the walls are closing in fast. Price squeezes my hand tighter, silent but steady beside me. She says they'll see me as a traitor, a risk to their hidden world. A traitor? After all I've done to stay invisible, to stay safe? This room was my safe haven. Now it feels like a gilded cage. She tells me to lay low, to trust no new faces, no stray glances. Every text, every unknown number could be the end for me. I grip the blood bag like a lifeline, my whole body shaking. The night outside is quiet, but my world is anything but calm. Price looks at me, and I know we'll face this danger together. She leaves extra supplies, her final warning hanging in the air. We hold each other, waiting for the other shoe to drop, and somewhere out there, someone is watching, ready to strike at my secret. I can't shake the feeling this is only the start of the storm. We sit in silence, knowing tomorrow could change everything for us. I'm stuck in chemistry class, my eyes locked on Mia's back, my secret weighing heavy. Every time she shifts, I fear she'll expose what she saw that day in the woods. She's just as on edge as I am, scared, angry, and holding all the power. Then Marge steps forward, and my heart skips a beat. She's about to call on someone. The classroom goes quiet, every eye on her, including mine and Mia's. "Mia," she says, and I watch Mia's shoulders tense like a coiled spring. She freezes for a second, then slowly pushes herself up, her face already flushed. Her eyes dart around the room, avoiding everyone's gaze, especially mine. The whole class is staring, waiting for her to answer, and I can feel her panic radiate. I don't know," she stammers, her voice cracking with embarrassment. My own hands curl into fists on my lap. This could be the moment everything falls apart. Then, a warm hand finds mine under the desk. Price's, strong and steady. Her grip tightens like she's saying I'm here, and some of the tension leaves my shoulders. I breathe out slowly, finally able to focus on something other than the fear of exposure. We stay that way, connected under the table, as Mia struggles to compose herself. She stares at the floor, her face burning, and I can't help but feel a flicker of guilt. Marge sighs, waving her hand to let Mia sit, and the class lets out a quiet breath. Mia slumps into her seat, defeated, and I know this isn't over, not by a long shot. I glance at Mia, and for a second, I see not my enemy, but a girl just as scared as me. But for now, we're both safe. And with Price beside me, I feel like I can face whatever comes next. I knew I had to face Mia, even if it meant risking everything. She was alone at her table, still holding that photo that could ruin me. Her eyes went cold the second she saw me coming. I walked straight toward her, my heart pounding in my chest. The air between us was thick with unspoken tension. I had to tell her the truth, no more lies. "I don't hurt anyone," I said, my voice steady but shaky. She didn't believe me, not at first. Who would? I only drink blood bags, never from living humans. Everyone around us was talking, but we were in our own world. I waited for her to pull out that photo, to ruin everything. But she didn't. She just stared at me, conflict in her eyes. She didn't yell, didn't call me a monster. She just hesitated. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. She stood up, ready to leave, and my heart sank again. But she paused, just for a second, before walking away. That look, it wasn't anger. It was something else, something softer. Maybe there was a chance. Maybe I hadn't lost everything. I knew I had to keep fighting, for myself and for the truth. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of something new. I was just heading to class, when the air suddenly turned cold. Every student I passed stared, their whispers cutting through the silence. Then I heard it. They were talking about a photo. About me being a monster. A group blocked my path, closing in like I was something to hunt. I was trapped. Every word they said a knife to my shaking chest. One held up a phone. There was the photo, my worst fear made real. I stepped back, my mind screaming, how did this happen? What do I do now? Then I saw her, Price, running toward me like she was my only hope. She skidded to a stop in front of me, her body a shield between me and the crowd. Her voice cut through the noise, sharp and unshakable. Leave her alone. She squeezed my hand, and I felt something warm spread through my cold chest. Then she said it, loud enough for everyone to hear. She's my girlfriend, and I love her. The crowd went silent, then erupted in whispers: shock, disbelief, confusion. Price didn't back down, her eyes locked on every single one of them. Tears burned my eyes. She was standing up for me when everyone else turned away. One student spoke up. You can't be serious, she's a monster. Price snapped back. She's not a monster, she's the best thing that ever happened to me. The crowd hesitated, then slowly began to back away, their anger fading to doubt. We stood there, hand in hand, facing the empty hallway together. In that moment, I knew no matter what comes, we'll face it together. We walked down the hallway, heads held high, ready for whatever comes next. I sat on the school rooftop, feeling like the whole world hated me. My secret was out, and I thought I'd lose everything I'd built. I didn't expect anyone to come find me, least of all her. Her footsteps broke the silence, and my heart started to ache. She wrapped her arms around me, and I finally let myself cry. All the fear and loneliness came pouring out in that moment. She whispered that I wasn't alone, but I could barely believe her. Then I heard another set of footsteps, and looked up to see Marge. She walked over, and I felt a flicker of hope in my chest. She handed me a tissue, and told me we'd fix this together. For the first time all day, I didn't feel completely alone. Marge said we'd prove I wasn't a monster, that we were a team. Price squeezed my hand, letting me know she'd fight for me. That simple gesture made me feel stronger than I had all day. Marge smiled at us, and I knew we really could get through this. As the sun set, I felt the weight in my chest start to lift. For the first time since my secret was exposed, I felt hopeful. Price wiped my tears away, and I knew I wasn't fighting this alone. Marge pulled out her phone, wanting to capture this small moment of hope. We stood together as the sun set, ready to face whatever came next. We're gathered at my place, about to lay everything on the line. My vampire secret can't stay hidden forever. Marge, Price, Andrea, Leanne, we're all here, ready to fight for the truth. Marge is here to prove I only use blood bags, no humans harmed, ever. Andrea's sharing her coming out story, proof we all deserve to be ourselves. We're not just fighting for me, we're fighting for everyone who's ever hidden. Leanne's right by Andrea's side, proof love always wins if we fight for it. Price hasn't left my side, she's ready to stand with me, no matter what. Marge has been protecting me for years, but now it's time to stop hiding. I've survived on blood bags my whole life, no need to hunt, no need to hurt. This cozy room's been my safe haven, but soon the whole school will know my truth. This photo was once a secret, now it's our weapon against fear. Leanne faced so much hate when she came out, but she never gave up. Price knows what it's like to hide who you are. She's not letting me do it alone. We have enough blood bags to prove I'm no monster, just a girl who's different. We're united now, no more secrets, no more fear. Tomorrow, we're heading to the auditorium. The whole school will know everything. We're not asking for forgiveness, we're demanding acceptance. No more hiding in the shadows. We deserve to be seen. Price and I are going to make sure our voices are heard. This is just the beginning. Our fight for truth and love starts now. I stood on that stage, heart pounding, ready to reveal my biggest secret to everyone. Every single eye was on me, the silence thick enough to cut with a knife. My hands shook, but I forced myself to speak. I couldn't hide anymore. I saw Mia in the crowd, her face torn. I prayed she'd help me tell the truth. And then I said it loud and clear. I'm a vampire, but I never hurt anyone. I only drink from blood bags. I've never taken a drop from a human being. Whispers erupted through the crowd. I could see fear and confusion on their faces. Then Mia stood up. My heart skipped a beat, wondering what she'd say. She said I was telling the truth, that she knew I never meant anyone harm. The crowd went quiet again, processing what Mia had said. I held my breath. That's when I saw Price walking toward the stage. My heart felt like it would burst. She took my hand, and in that moment, all my fear melted away. She told everyone she loved me no matter what I was. I could feel tears in my eyes. I never thought I could be this happy, being my true self in front of everyone. Slowly, the crowd started clapping, then cheering. They accepted me. I saw Leanne and Andrea in the crowd, smiling and clapping for us. We hugged on that stage, surrounded by applause. I finally felt like I belonged. In that moment, I knew everything would be okay. We were together, and that's all that mattered. I was no longer hiding. I was Blair, a vampire, and in love. Hand in hand, we walked off the stage, ready for whatever came next. After all the chaos, Price and I finally walked these halls as who we are. Gone are the glares and whispers, now everyone greets us with smiles. I spot Mia approaching, her face full of hesitation and guilt. She walks toward us slowly, each step carrying the weight of her past mistakes. The hallway grows quiet, everyone watching as she comes to face us. Her hands clench and unclench, she's clearly struggling to find the right words. I give her a small, gentle smile, hoping to ease her nerves a little. Price squeezes my hand tightly, silently showing she's with me every step. She finally opens her mouth, and the words she's been holding back spill out. I'm sorry, she whispers, for everything I did, for the fear I caused you. I feel a weight lift off my chest as I look at her. Forgiveness feels easier than I thought. I accept your apology, I say, my voice steady and sincere. Tears fill her eyes, and I can see she's truly relieved to hear my words. She reaches out her hand, and I take it this is the start of a new friendship. The hallway erupts in cheers, everyone's happy to see this conflict finally resolved. I look at Price, and in her eyes I see all the love and support I could ever need. Mia joins the other students, finally looking like she belongs here too. I place a hand on my chest, feeling the peace I've been craving for so long. Price and I keep walking, ready to embrace whatever comes next together. The sunlight at the end of the hallway feels like a promise of better days ahead. Price's smile is brighter than I've ever seen it, and it makes my heart skip a beat. I can hear students talking about us, not with fear, but with acceptance and curiosity. I don't have to hide who I am anymore, my style, my truth. All of me is accepted. This hallway, once a place of fear and secrets, now feels like a second home. Seeing Mia laugh and fit in makes me realize how far we've all come. I'm in the gym, watching cheer practice, finally letting my guard down. For so long, I hid who I was, but here, I can just be Blair. Leanne and Andrea are up next. Their routine's always been flawless. They move like they're one, like nothing can break their bond. The crowd roars they nailed it, like they always do. Then I feel like someone's walking toward my seat. It's Price, her usual sharp edges softened for once. Our hands brush, and I hold my breath, scared she'll pull away. But she doesn't, she smiles, and my heart feels light for the first time. We sit in silence, watching the team, and it feels perfect. Then she leans her head on my shoulder and I freeze. I carefully place my hand on her back, scared I'll break the moment. I can't help but smile, this is everything I ever wanted. Her hair smells like strawberries, just like it always does. We stay like that, wrapped up in our own little world. Then a shadow falls over us, and I tense up, scared it's trouble. It's Price's dad, and I prepare for the worst for him to yell, to pull her away. But he doesn't. He smiles, small and genuine, before walking away. Price looks after him, then back at me, her eyes full of warmth. She laces our fingers together, and I know we're going to be okay. I touch the fang necklace around my neck. Price gave it to me, a symbol of us. The crowd cheers again, and for once, I don't feel like an outsider. Leanne and Andrea hug, celebrating their win, and I'm happy for them. They wave at us, and I wave back, finally feeling part of something. We stand up, ready to leave, ready to face whatever comes next together. Up on that overlook with Price, my heart raced with quiet expectation. The city lights spread out below us like a sea of stars as she shifted closer. Her hand closed around a small velvet box, and my breath caught in my throat. I reached out, my fingers trembling slightly as she held out the box to me. As the box clicked open, I held my breath, wondering what could be inside. It was a silver necklace with a tiny vampire fang pendant, so delicate, so perfect. My eyes filled with tears. She'd made something that celebrated who I truly am. She smiled, soft and warm, and said it meant she accepted every part of me. I ran my finger over the fang, my heart swelling with a love I never thought I'd find. She leaned in to fasten it for me, her breath warm against my neck. The fang glinted against my skin, a symbol of love I never dared to hope for. I turned to her, my heart so full I could barely speak, and pulled her close. Our hands tangled together, warm and steady, like we were meant to fit this way. I leaned in, our noses brushing, and she didn't pull away. She leaned in too. Our lips met in a soft, gentle kiss, and in that moment, everything felt perfect. We held each other tight, the city lights below us a perfect backdrop for our love. I rested my head on her shoulder, watching the city glow, and knew I was home. The wind blew my hair over the fang, and I smiled, knowing this was just the beginning. She looked down at me, her eyes full of love, and whispered that she'd always be by my side. We sat there together, watching the city, our love stronger than any secret or fear that had held us back. Price and I are curled up in my room, watching a movie. This necklace means everything. Never in a million years did I think I'd feel this safe, this loved, with her here. Our hands are tangled together, like we never want to let go. This is real. A knock on the door pulls us from the movie. Marge is here, with something sweet. She's holding a plate of my favorite chocolate chip cookies my foster mom always knows. Her smile says everything. She's been watching over me, supporting me this whole time. She sets the plate down on my desk, her eyes soft as she looks at both of us. I can feel tears pricking at my eyes. This is the family I always wanted. Those cookies aren't just food, they're proof I'm finally home, finally loved. She sits down beside me, her voice soft as she says what I've been dying to hear. I'm so proud of you, Blair, she says. Those words hit me harder than anything ever has. I don't even think before I hug her tight. This is what belonging feels like. Price watches us with a soft smile, and I know she gets it. She knows what this means. Her eyes are filled with so much warmth. I'm so lucky she's in my life. I walk over to Price, taking her hand. We don't need words, we just know. When we look at each other, all the fear, all the secrets fade away. It's just us. This necklace isn't just a gift, it's a promise. We're in this together, forever. Marge nods at us, a quiet understanding in her smile. She knows we're going to be okay. We sit back on the bed, grabbing cookies together. This is happiness, simple, pure, mine. For the first time in my life, I feel like I belong. I'm Blair, and I'm finally home. After all the fights and secrets, I finally walk this hallway free. Price and me. No more hiding, everyone sees we're together now. Then a new girl spotted my necklace, her eyes went wide with curiosity. She didn't look scared. She walked right over, like she had to know. I tensed, waiting for fear or screams, but they never came. "What's that necklace?" she asked, her voice full of wonder, not fear. I took a deep breath, ready to say the words I'd hidden for years. "It's a vampire fang," I said, bracing for the worst. But instead of fear, she lit up like she heard the coolest thing ever. "Wait, does that mean you're actually a vampire?" she asked, leaning in. I nodded, and Price squeezed my hand. "No more hiding, no more lies." "That's so cool," she said, grinning like she'd hit the jackpot. She bombarded me with questions, speed, daywalking, all of it. No fear, just wonder. Other students watched, but no one ran, no one screamed, just curiosity. For the first time ever, I didn't feel like a freak. I felt seen. Price stayed right beside me, proud of me for being myself. She pulled out a notebook, scribbling questions like it was a test. That necklace, once a shame, now felt like a badge of honor. Maybe this is acceptance, no more hiding, just being unapologetically me. As we walked, I realized the future didn't have to be scary. It could be bright. I'm buried in vampire lore at the library, trying to learn more about who I am. Price is right beside me, holding my hand like she's my anchor in all this chaos. Then I heard footsteps, Mia, with her own vampire book, heading straight for us. My heart skipped a beat. Would she judge me, or was she genuinely curious? She stopped right at our table, her eyes sparkling with questions, not fear. Her book was dog-eared, filled with notes she'd clearly been researching too. I tensed, waiting for the question that could shift everything between us. "Can you really teleport anywhere you want to go?" she asked, voice brimming with wonder. I let out a laugh, realizing she wasn't here to judge, she was here to learn. Price squeezed my hand, proud of me for being open with someone new. "Yes," I said, "I can teleport anywhere, no doors, no limits, just thought." Her eyes went wide, like she'd just heard the coolest story ever told. "What about super speed? Can you run faster than a car?" She pressed forward. "Faster," I grinned. "Faster than any human could ever dream of running." For the first time, I didn't feel like a freak talking about who I was. I felt seen. Price's smile never left her face, like she was just as happy as I was in that moment. She pulled out a notebook, filled with questions she'd been dying to ask for weeks. "I can walk in the sun," I explained. "Most vampires can't guess I'm one of the lucky ones." She nodded slowly, like everything was clicking into place for her. We talked for hours, turning fear and judgment into curiosity and friendship. This is what acceptance feels like. I never thought I'd be sitting at Price's family dinner table, my heart racing with mixed feelings. Surrounded by her family, for the first time, I didn't feel like an outsider watching from afar. Then her dad leaned forward, and my breath caught waiting for the question I knew was coming. "Can you really run faster than any human?" he asked, his voice far calmer than I expected. I sat up straight, meeting his gaze, and nodded confidently. "Faster than any car, actually," I said, a small smile tugging at my lips. His eyes widened, and for a second, I saw a flicker of respect in them. Before he could speak, Price's mom cut in, piling food onto my plate with a warm smile. "Eat up, dear," she said. "You must be exhausted with all those vampire abilities." I felt my eyes burn with warmth. This was the first time I felt truly accepted. Price squeezed my hand under the table, her touch a silent reassurance. "And teleportation? Can you really go anywhere in an instant?" "Anywhere I want," I confirmed, my voice steady with pride. Price's mom laughed, shaking her head in amazement. "That's incredible." When I looked at Price, she was already staring at me, her eyes full of love. Her dad nodded slowly, finally breaking the silence. "You're not what I expected, Blair." My breath caught, waiting for the rest of his words, my heart pounding in my chest. "But I can see you make my daughter happy. That's all that matters." Tears welled up in my eyes. I never thought I'd hear those words from him. In that moment, surrounded by warmth and acceptance, I knew I'd found my place. I never thought I'd get to tell anyone about the loneliness of being a vampire. For years, I hid in shadows, afraid to let anyone see the real me. I thought I'd be alone forever, cursed to this endless isolation. Then Price came along, and everything changed. Tonight, she's letting me share the parts I've buried for so long. I told her about the first time I realized I wasn't like everyone else. About the fear, the hunger, the constant fight to be normal. I thought she'd run, that she'd see me as a monster. But she didn't. She held me closer, like I was the one who needed saving. Then she told me her own story, about the girl she had to hide. About the pressure to be perfect, to never show weakness. I never knew the icy queen of the academy was hurting so much inside. We're both just two girls, tired of hiding who we are. She leaned into me, and for the first time, I felt truly seen. The city lights looked brighter, like they were celebrating us. I held her tight, promising we'd never hide again. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like a monster. I felt like someone who was finally home. Two broken souls, finally finding healing in each other. I don't know what the future holds, but I know we'll face it together. She's my everything, the light in my endless night. Nothing can tear us apart now, not anymore. The necklace she gave me feels like a promise, a symbol of our love. She loves me, vampire and all, and that's all that matters. In that kiss, I felt all the pain, all the fear, fade away. I'm Blair, a vampire who finally found her place in the sunlight. Price is behind me, her arms wrapped tight around my waist. Andrea and Leanne pass by, smiling and waving like old friends. Mia, who once feared me, now greets me with warmth in her eyes. Even Price's dad, who once hated me, gives us a quiet nod of approval. I rev the engine, ready to leave all the old fears behind. We roll forward, leaving the academy and its old rules far behind us. Price leans her head on my back, feeling safe and loved at last. The open road stretches ahead, full of endless possibilities for us. The sunrise paints the sky red, a symbol of our new beginning together. We pause for a moment, watching the sun rise over the horizon. Price's hand finds mine, her touch a promise of forever. We ride toward the sun, ready for whatever the future holds. The vampire fang necklace Price gave me glimpse in the morning sun. Every mile takes us further from the darkness we once knew. Price's smile is brighter than the sun, a gift I never thought I'd receive. We don't know where we're going, but we know we're going together. For the first time in my life, I feel truly home and loved. Our hands stay locked, a symbol of our unbreakable bond. This is just the beginning of our story, and we're ready to write every page.